VBS 2020. We are so excited that you decided to join us this year. We are super excited for space.
Supernatural encounters with God.
So we're just finishing up some of our final details as we get ready for our launch sequence. Hey, have you seen Dr. Diller?
Mission Control, have you made contact with Dr. Diller? She's approaching the space pad now.
Oh, good.
Hey, you guys, yeah, thanks. We have secured a band.
Oh, good.
So we have a band, but the problem is we need to get them up to the space station, and the shuttle is about to leave.
Oh my goodness,
So
we need to hurry.
We have got to
We've
get out
gotta
of
go.
here. We've got to get the band. We will see you again. Enjoy. Come on.
Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome to the space station.
Space!
And welcome to VBS 2020 Space Supernatural Encounters with God.
Supernatural encounters with God.
That's what I just said.
Okay.
Alright, I'm Houston Ann and this is Rocket Dan.
Rocket Dan!
He really doesn't sing that well, so let's try not to ask him to do that very often, okay? Are you with me? Nod your head.
what does that
okay,
mean?
that's great. I think it's self-explanatory.
Okay, but I am Rocket Dan. This is my friend Houston Ann, and we are in the space station of Colonial Woods right now,
We are, yeah.
which is in space.
Yes, it's a little known fact that we have a space station.
It's awesome.
Yes.
But why are we talking to them out there on our...
Well, here's the thing, guys. VBS this year, normally we would do this live and you'd be out there and we would be able to see you and run around and have a great time. But this year, we're doing it virtually. Why? Because we're in space.
Wait, what's VBS?
Vacation Bible School.
And that's what we're doing right now with
That's
them?
what we're doing right now.
So wait, are you telling me all week these kids are going to be in our space station talking with us and interacting, and we're going to be doing stuff, showing them things?
Yes, and there's going to be crafts and there's going to be games and there's going to be all kinds of stuff.
It's kind of like we're movie stars all week for them to be able to see that, right?
Yeah, just like that.
Because I'm Rocket Dan.
So Dan, why don't we tell them a little bit about our theme?
Yes, our theme for VBS.
Space.
Space.
Supernatural Encounters with God.
Supernatural encounters with God. It's really good when I just repeat after you, because then we can figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, that's exactly working for us. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about, we have a theme verse.
Okay?
Okay, because there's no better place to talk about the supernatural than out in space where there are just amazing things everywhere. But we have a verse that we want, what are you doing, Rocket Dan?
I'm looking at space, because you said it's everywhere.
Yes.
So I was staring at that.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
good.
So we're going to go ahead and talk about our theme verse, which is found in Psalms 8, 3, and 4.
8, 3, and 4.
Yeah, and this is what it says. I'm going to read it to you because I don't have it memorized yet. But our goal is that we will have it memorized and you will have it memorized by the time this week is over. But our theme verse is this. It says, "When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is mankind that you are mindful of them, human beings that you care for them?" This week we get to talk about the fact that God is so amazing and so incredible, that He loves us, that He created all of the things that we're going to see this week, and yet He still loves us. And it's an incredible thing, and it's exciting to know that. And so we're going to be talking about that this week with you guys.
It's one of the big reasons I became Rocket Dan, is to see all of God's awesomeness in His creation out here. It's so cool.
Awesome. One of the things that we're going to do each night is to show you something cool from space. Are you ready to see something cool from space?
What are we watching? Yeah, I'm ready. What is it?
Well, you're going to tell us all about it. It's the Milky Way, Dan.
The candy bar?
No, the galaxy.
There's a galaxy named after the candy bar?
You did all the research on it.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you remember that?
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, the thing with all that stuff?
Yes, all the stars. In fact, they should be starting to see it here behind us.
So you're telling me there's no candy?
No, we're in space. We're not eating candy. We're talking about space.
Well, I am kind of hungry, but I guess I can wait.
Okay.
So, hey,
Tell us about it.
I have heard of the
I know
Milky
you
Way.
have.
Yeah, and so can I tell them?
I would love it if you
So
tell them.
there's this one cool fact. Do you know that in the Milky Way, not the candy bar, by the way,
Right.
just in case you're confused, in the Milky Way, there's all these stars everywhere, and all the stars that we see in the sky, there are over 250 billion stars in the Milky Way.
Billion.
So that's like 250 0 0. There's lots of zeros after that first 250 billion stars in the galaxy, in the Milky Way. It's amazing.
That's a lot of zeros.
Lots of zeros.
What else can you tell us about it?
Well,
other than it's beautiful and pretty.
yeah, okay, so it's also really big. Have you ever seen the sun?
Once or twice. Not very often in Michigan, but yeah.
Okay, I do want to remind you as I talk about this that you should never directly look into the sun to see how big it is. But you need to take my word for it that it's a big sun.
Yeah, like it's very, very large.
Yeah, very. The Milky Way galaxy is 890 billion times larger than the sun. So if like the sun was this big, it would be 890 billion times bigger than that.
That's pretty large.
Oh yeah, it is.
So how does that impact us? Like the planet Earth, where's planet Earth?
Well, we're in the Milky Way. We're one piece of the Milky Way and all of that vast bigness that is out there in space right now.
So planet Earth is one planet in the middle of all of these billions of stars and everything. That's incredible.
So incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love learning about space and I love looking at what God's created. And in fact, we're going to talk about that more today, but I think we have to get ready for you to go on a spacewalk tomorrow out into the Milky Way galaxy.
I've got my space pants on.
I see that. You know, you don't have to wear those inside all the time.
Well, I have to be ready in case someone calls me to go to space.
That's a valid
point. My pants.
That's a valid point.
But the rest of my suit has kind of been having some issues.
So you're going to work on it.
So I got to work on it. So I'm going to go do that, and then maybe we can come back a little later and talk a little bit more about all this stuff. Okay. Is that a deal?
Sure. Sounds like a plan.
I'll see you later.
Okay.
That way.
All right, I gotta go too.
During VBS this year, we're collecting money to help provide supplies for our annual Operation Christmas Child shoebox packing party in November. Let's watch this video about the ministry of OCC, then we'll be back with more details.
The kids are playing, are laughing, joyful.
It's like a whole world to them because for the first time they have received this precious gift.
Operation Christmas Child gives our church an opportunity to touch the world.
It's a great adventure to evangelize.
You've got an army of volunteers that pack the boxes. They're helping OCC to take the gospel literally to millions of children.
This is the Good Samaritan work that the Lord is looking for people to do.
Getting people locally to think globally.
What I love about OCC is that they are intentional about pouring into the lives of kids.
They receive a box and also an invitation to come back and learn more about Christ.
We just don't want to just hand out a box and stop there. We want them to grow in their faith.
It's a great tool, an effective tool to reach communities with the gospel of Jesus.
It's exciting to get people to heaven, but it's also exciting to get heaven to people.
We can't wait for you to help pack shoeboxes with us in November, but first we need to talk about our offering contest details. Our VBS goal is to raise at least $600. Even though we're not meeting in person, we're still having our annual Boys vs. Girls offering competition. Starting Monday night, the group who brought in the most money the previous night will be announced during our video streaming from CW Space Station. Keep an eye out on Friday, July 24th for a special transmission from space, announcing the overall winners for the week. The winning team, you earn bragging rights for the year. There will also be a far-out space event broadcast if we hit or exceed our offering goal. Here's how you can give. There will be a place in the front office July 20th through the 23rd between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. to drop off your donations for either the boys or the girls. You can also give online at cwmc.church/give and select a VBS for your offering type. Online donations will be split equally between the boys and the girls unless you email Tim at cwmc.church and let Tim know where you would like the funds to go to, either the boys team or the girls team.
into everything you have for us. We're going up, moving out of the natural, stepping into the promises of your word. We're going up, moving out of the natural. Whoa. Something never seen, never heard. It's supernatural. Step into the new, see the old no more. It's supernatural. Take us higher, take us deeper, take us into everything you have for us. We're going up, moving out of the natural, stepping into the promises of your word. We're going up, moving out of the natural. Whoa. We're going up, moving out of the natural, stepping into the promises of your word. We're going up, moving out of the natural. Whoa. Are you ready for his power? Are you ready? It's supernatural. Are you ready for his power? Are you ready? It's supernatural. Stepping into the promises of your word. We're going up, moving out of the natural. Whoa. We're going up, moving out of the natural, stepping into the promises of your word. We're going up, moving out of the natural. Whoa. Your love breaks on me like an ocean, and I'm caught in your rolling sea. Your love is a place like a wide open space. Call me out into all I can be. I found my life in mercy deep. I found your kingdom on my knees. I found salvation wild and free when I found you. I found my life in mercy deep. I found your kingdom on my knees. I found salvation wild and free when I found you. I will walk on the waves of your promise. I will walk in your word over me. Your love is a place like a wide open space. Call me out into all I can be. I found my life in mercy deep. I found your kingdom on my knees. I found salvation wild and free when I found you. I found my life in mercy deep. I found your kingdom on my knees. I found salvation wild and free when I found you. On the waves of your promise, call me out into all I can be. I found my life in mercy deep. I found your kingdom on my knees. I found salvation wild and free when I found you. I found my life in mercy deep. I found your kingdom on my knees. I found salvation wild and free when I found you. I found my life in mercy deep. I found your kingdom on my knees. I found salvation wild and free when I found you.
Where do I put? No. Yeah, that might work. So, all right. Oh man, it broke. I'm frustrated. I wish this would. Okay, let's see. Put this here. Got this.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Well, it's not going so great.
No? It looks
No.
like I was kind of watching you from a distance. It looked
Yeah.
like you had a plan.
Well,
But
I had a plan.
so what is it you're trying to do exactly? Like, what's the problem?
So my suit, it said it had a sensor. You know how sometimes different things have sensors, and it had a sensor that that the air flux capacitor wasn't working right.
The air flux capacitor.
Yeah, and that air it needed enough. It's like 1 point, I don't know, like 21 psi air flux capacitation to actually work, and that sensor went off, and I was trying to figure out how to fix that sensor.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, that's
it
pretty
just-
important.
Yeah. Well, because I want to
especially-
breathe in space.
Well, yeah, and I'd like you to breathe in space
Yeah.
tomorrow as well. It reminds me of a little bit about Apollo 13. Remember their story, the Apollo 13,
Yeah.
when they had that sensor that got they actually had an explosion. We don't want an explosion.
No.
And
especially when I'm near that explosion.
yeah, it's bad.
That would be bad.
But they actually almost didn't make it back. I don't know if you guys know that, but they almost didn't make
Are
it
you
back.
saying
to
I
Earth.
might not make it back?
No, we're gonna get this fixed.
Okay.
Because what they did is they actually created this new piece out of nothing, and all these other pieces, and they made the filter and things that they needed, the sensors they needed, and they were able to get back. And that's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Making something out of nothing.
That's exactly what I was trying to do, because we don't have the right, I mean, because we're in space, so it's not like I can just go to the store and, head down to Menards and pick up what I need. So it's like I wanted to sit here and try and take what is not here and create it so that it can go on my suit.
Sure.
So that I can do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This piece seemed very important, but it just
looks important.
Yeah, it just wasn't working. But I was wondering.
Hey, it's Dr. Prove-It.
Dr. Prove-It, I thought you were somewhere else, not here.
I'm here. I'm on the spaceship with you. I'm great. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing good. Everybody out there, this is Dr. Prove It. She's the scientist on our show.
Yes.
On our show. We're in space.
Well,
what
yeah,
are we doing?
yeah. Well, remember I told you we were rock stars.
Station,
You know, yeah.
On the space station, Dr. Prove It is our scientist. She's so helpful. And so welcome. We're so glad you're with us.
But I don't know if we really need you right now. I mean, it's one of those things that we have what we need to. I mean, right?
Well, what are you doing here exactly?
Well, I was trying to fix my air flux capacitation unit, and the sensor went off, and I was trying to take all of this stuff because we don't have the right parts. So I was trying to create the part out of nothing and trying to create something that would work, you know. And so that's what I was doing right here.
You can't create something out of nothing. That's not possible, scientifically speaking.
What do you mean?
It's just not possible to make something out of nothing.
No, but I mean, we have to. We got to figure this out. Otherwise,
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Otherwise, Houston Ann said that I could blow up in space, and so, right? I mean,
yeah, but I think it's possible to create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I really do think it is.
Can you prove it?
Actually, there's a story in the Bible that I think would tell very much to talk about how it was all about creating something out of nothing. And if you have time, I want to tell you about it so that you can see how I think it's possible. Do you have time for that?
Okay, yeah.
All right, well, let's leave this here for a moment. Let's go over there, and then I will tell you the story, all right? Okay, so here's the deal. I have a story, it's in the Bible, about how I feel God created something out of nothing.
You feel it or you know it?
I know it actually because I read it in the Bible.
Okay, I
and
was
so,
just checking.
Dr. Prove It, I'd like especially for you to hear this because you're saying it can't happen. So here's the deal. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, it says, "In the beginning, God created." In the beginning, God created, which means God was there in the very beginning and He created everything that you see around us. How awesome is that?
That sounds pretty awesome.
So it's good for us to recognize that it was just God, there was nothing that was there, and He began to create what was going on. It actually says this in verse 2. I want to read this, I want you to understand. It says the earth was formless and empty. It means that nothing was in the earth. Nothing was in the world.
Empty means nothing, right?
Yeah, no Milky Way candy bar galaxy. No, nothing out there in the universe. It was just empty and formless. And then God began to create all of that. And it says this, it said He took 7 days to create. In reality, it was 6 days, but we talk about something because on the 7th day, He was tired, He rested. He took some time just to kind of, to just say, hey, here's my creation. But in the first 6 days, here's what He did. On day 1, God created light and dark and the heavens and earth out of nothing. So here's the deal. I think what would be great is maybe to help everybody who's listening to this right now, if maybe you kind of acted out, you know, those parts. So how about you be light and you be dark? And so here we go. So God created light and God created dark on the first day. It actually says He also created the heavens and the earth. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. So that was day 1.
Okay.
But here's what's so cool. So He created that, and it goes on. It says, on each day for the next 4 days or so, 5 days. Math is easy.
Yes.
And so all those days He created, but it didn't just say He created. It says He spoke it. It's so neat. He spoke it, and it happened.
Just by His words.
Just by His words. God began to create everything around. And
That's amazing.
In verse 6 is where it first says, it says, and God said.
Okay.
And God said. And then on every day, the verse starts like this. And God said.
Wow.
And God said. And God said. Meaning He spoke.
He was quite a talker.
Something. He was quite a talker out of nothing. So, day 1, light, right? Night. Heavens. Earth. And day 2, He created sky. Oh, that's good. That's good. And He created water.
Splash, 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 splash.
Ooh, sound effects.
Oh, that was good. That was good. That was good. On day 3, God said, dry land. Oh, that was good. And plants.
Really
oh, that was good.
sounds
That was good. On day 4, God said stars. Oh, that's like they're shooting up there. So do they get stars, moon, and sun. Then on day 5, God said flying animals. So like birds and all that. Oh, that's good. Yeah. And sea animals. Yeah, and like he did like a crab too. Can you do a crab walk forever? No, okay. All right. So sea animals and then flying animals. Now on day 6 it was a little different. On day 6 he still spoke, and the first thing he spoke, he said land animals. Oh yeah.
I think that was a dinosaur.
Is it a dinosaur?
I think so.
And then he also created people. That's you and me. But when he came to people, here's so cool. He did it differently.
Yeah.
Than when he did everything else. See, where everything else, it said, and God said, and it happened. But in verse 26, when it got to people, it says, then he said, let us make. Let us make mankind into our image. You see, everything else he said spoke. And this he actually wanted to do with his own hands.
Okay.
And so what God did is he formed man from the dust of the earth, and he created us out of nothing. And then he blew his breath, kind of weird, into our nostrils.
Okay.
So the breath of God, he blew into us, and man was formed, and life happened.
From nothing.
From nothing.
Huh.
And it's so amazing because so often I think, Dr. Prove It, where you say we can't do that, God says, no, I can. And I want us to remember this. Here, if you could remember anything from this story.
Okay.
If you were going to, what if we call it logging it? Like logging a good thought, right?
Uh-huh.
If we could remember and log it, that God can supernaturally create anything out of nothing, including us.
Okay.
That God has the power, because he's God, to create anything he wants out of nothing, including us. That means he's a pretty powerful God.
So what you're saying is that Dr. Prove It is kind of right in the fact that we can't create something out of nothing, but God can create something out of nothing, even us.
Yes.
Okay. So does that make sense to you, Dr. Prove It?
Yeah, and that's really amazing, because if God created everything, maybe we can then create a spacesuit for you out of the things that we have.
Yeah, so I think that maybe we can't create nothing, we can't create something out of the nothing, but I think we have all the parts there that God can maybe even help us create what we need.
Because you said that we were created in God's image, and if God is a creator, then he's given us the ability to be creative.
I have a thinker.
Wow.
Mind
That's
blown.
awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited, and I thank you for sharing that story with us.
Thank you.
And guys, did you love that story? I mean, it's kind of convinced Dr. Prove It a little bit, and maybe it's convinced you God can create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even us.
That's amazing. Well, I'm pretty excited. We probably should let you get back to work and be able to finish your project, because tomorrow you're going out in space.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm trying to get out there, and we have some work that we want to do, and so I really need that suit to be working tomorrow.
So I guess maybe we'll let you get to it, and maybe we'll have to say goodbye to you guys for tonight and just say, hey, we'll see you tomorrow. I mean, is there anything else that we need to say
I don't know.
as we go back to
I
our
think we're
jobs
good.
here on the space station?
Yeah, we have some things, and then tomorrow night we'll be ready to go and continue talking about it.
All right. Well, hey, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
I cannot feel your love so strong and still from where I've hidden. I cannot hear your voice above my will, but still you listen. And all the while you call me to your grace. All that I undid fades. Lead me to the end of myself.
Hey guys, Rocket Dan here. The team's kind of working on everything for tomorrow, but I wanted to remind you of two things before we finished up tonight's stuff. The first one is the login, right? Login. And here's what it is. God can supernaturally create anything out of nothing, including us. And we learn that from tonight's Bible story out of Genesis 1:1, which says this: in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, where he took nothing and created something. So we hope you take that and remember that throughout the week.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We are so glad that you again chose to watch Houston and Rocket Dan and Dr. Prove It as they journeyed through space. We hope to see you again tomorrow night, but before we close off, I think Lunar Lisa, don't you have a couple of things to talk about?
I certainly do. I just want you to know, remember to stay tuned tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the launching of Lunar Lisa and Storytime for our youngest space cadets.
Oh, and we will also have a special report that will air tomorrow to update us on our offering project and to see whether the boys space cadets or the girls space cadets brought in the most for our missions project.
Alrighty, well, I am Captain Katie. This is Lunar Lisa and Dr. Diller signing off from the CW Space Center. We'll see you tomorrow night.